on, guys? Michael from GPURisers.com with another vlog. I know I haven't really been keeping up with these. It's been a little bit hectic recently. I know I keep saying I'm going to keep up with them. I can't promise that, but I am recording some. I've recorded a good amount. I just don't really post it. I don't edit it together and everything like that. Maybe I'll start doing like a quarterly vlog or something like that and kind of stitch everything together. You know, pumping these out is a little bit difficult, but I do like to share with you guys what we're doing, and I know you guys see a little bit of it from the Mining King and Hot Crypto Mining. I know they keep you guys updated with everything, and you know, I try to keep you guys updated on Wired Wednesdays with the veteran miner. So thought I would give you guys a little bit of a car ride chat here while I am on the way to Wichita, Kansas to fly back to sunny Florida. And although I love it here in Kansas, the people are just very nice. It is very cold, brutally cold. It's very a different climate than Florida. It is nice. I feel like my blood got a little bit is it thicker? Is that what it is when it's colder? The last couple days have been better, but it actually is 65 degrees outside, so today is probably the hottest day since I've been here. The second day, it was like snow flurrying. It was crazy. But I am happy to be going back home, but that does not mean the work is going to stop. What we just did this past week, and we have been here a week, I got into Kansas last Thursday, and today is Thursday. I don't even know what today's date is. I think the 7th or 8th or something, somewhere around there. But this week has just gone by so fast, and we've just been doing so many upgrades for our GPU side and our ASIC side. Our ASIC side is well taken care of, and I don't mean that they're in like different positions, you know, or not positions, but you know, I'm talking networking wise. That's really what I'm trying to get to. So I'm gonna be a little bit tired. I promise I won't stumble along this whole vlog, but the ASICs are a lot easier to manage, right? You set up racks for them and you plug them in, and you can do cable management really easily. GPUs, I don't want to say are a nightmare, but GPUs are, there's a reason they're more expensive to host than ASICs, and there's a reason why other hosting companies don't really host them. They require a ton of maintenance, a ton of, you know, you got to take them off the shelves, back on the shelves. This card's having an issue. There's so many points of failures, and you know, in a GPU rig, you know, we only have R8s, X8s, you know, Octominers, but there's so many points of failure in these things that they do have a lot of issues. So I have been out here with the Mining King, and we have been redoing the entire network for the GPU farm and for parts of our ASIC farm. Long story short, a lot of these, everyone's getting into these Caspa miners, and they don't work in Foreman. So we can't monitor them, we can't edit them, we can't give user access to them on you know, on Foreman like we have with our S19s, E9s, and whatever these other China boxes are. And so because they're not Bitmain, they're not showing up in Foreman, and I know Foreman can also do WhatsMiner and some of these others, but the Ice River ones specifically are so new that Foreman doesn't have support for them. And I know there might be a walk around or something by the time this vlog eventually gets out there. But we have to have those on a different network that we can tunnel into. And so we have all of those with our GPU farm. And the Mining King created 3 new networking racks. Each one has 4 MikroTik switches in it. We have 1 MikroTik router. And long story short, with everything that we did, along with amazing cable management, which you guys don't see, but for us it helps out a lot, we have everyone on their own network. So, you know, we can have, just say, John Smith on rack 1A and John Smith on rack 3B, and, you know, all across our farm. But all of those are tagged to their own network, which means that it is, I don't want to say impossible, because, you know, what I've learned through all of this, and the Mining King has taught me a lot, is that, you know, no network is impenetrable, right? So that it's not perfection, but all you can do is kind of the best job that you can to make the network as secure as you can. And by having all the customers on their own networks, they can't really talk to each other. And this is something I didn't really think about prior. You know what I mean? I figured, you know, you just have your Octominer and it's connected to Hive and everything like that, but I'm sure everyone watching this knows, you can Hive shell in, and potentially, you know, these hackers and everything like that, they can jump from one to another, and it's not necessarily the client, but in the atmosphere that we're in now, and as the date of this video, I think the hot coin that everyone's mining is a Carlson, which is a fork of Caspa, I'm not saying Carlson has problems or anything like that, but with all these new coins popping up and people jumping up chasing the hottest thing and the thing that'll, you know, make them rich or whatever people do, you know, get a bag of this, get a bag of that coin, you don't know what you're downloading onto the rig. You know, there's some miners that you have to download from a GitHub repository, and that can just be a big problem, right? And so it's not necessarily the customer that we're worried about being nefarious, but we're worried about customers that might be a little bit too adventurous with their machines and what they're mining and everything. So long story short, I know I said that 8 times already, we created, or the Mining King created, a much more secure network, a lot different rules for firewalls, and this is something, if you guys are hosting with other hosting providers, you know, other than Terra, you know, then these are questions you kind of want to ask, right? A lot of people, when they look out for hosting, it's just the cheapest thing that they can find, right? And a lot of these hosting facilities, if it's in the United States, which a lot of the ones that you see that are, you know, I think there was one that was advertised from a YouTuber a little bit ago. It was like 6.9 cents, right? And it's like, wow, this looks fantastic. How do they do it? And then you get into it and it's like, okay, we got management fees, we got this, we got that. So they tack on all these things, but there are hosting companies that are cheaper than Terra, and we know that. But if I was a customer, I would want to make sure all of my machines are on secure networks, well taken care of, and everything like that. So I do emphasize, if you are hosting with another provider, you know, kind of ask them what their network looks like, because a lot of this stuff, and I'm not trying to scare anyone, but if these machines get infected and it crosses across the whole network and everything like that, it can cause problems and everything like that. So you cause problems with your rigs, or it might be mining to a different wallet and you don't even know. Or what we have seen is that there are some instances where there's, you know, I don't know the right terms for it. I'm not a networking guy per se, but you know, it may look like your computer's just fine, but you know, like 5% of the computer is actually being allocated to a miner that's in the background that you don't see. So yeah, you know, these questions are good to ask. And as a hosting company with Terra, we've been slowly making strides and moving in the right direction with network security, having a clean network, our topology making sense, and everything like that. So this is just another step forward that we did this past week with all the networking. The Mining King really killed it. You can check his Twitter out for like pictures of these networking cages with the switches, and it's just great. You know, when we deploy people, it'll be a lot faster now, organized, and we're excited to move forward. We added about 50% more capacity for GPUs. Before we got here this week, we were actually maxed out for GPUs. And we still were open for orders because we knew we were coming out here, we were going to be able to allocate more power for it. So that is what we did this past week. Also, while we were out here, these properties that we're in currently, we're leasing, right? And there's 2 reasons for that. The first one is we kind of wanted to get our foot in the door with in Kansas. And it was, you know, it's hard having to be here all the time, right? And our team is here often. We do have someone on site 24/7 that can, not 24/7, you know what I mean, but we do have someone every day that goes there and can do hard resets and stuff like that. But it's difficult, not, you know, we wanted to test the waters, really, that's what it is. We wanted to make sure that it would work before we scaled, right? And before we moved to Kansas, all of our farms, we wanted to make sure that, one, we could scale, right? And we didn't want to purchase these buildings without knowing that we can get to the capacity where it makes sense to be able to pay for people to be on site, you know, eventually 24/7, right? Or on call 24/7, overnight and stuff like that. So now we have been in Kansas for almost 4 months, probably about 3.5 months. We moved everything here in mid-August, and we have been growing like crazy. So we are continuing to grow here, and we are finally at the point as a company where I do think we are going to begin acquiring properties. But there will be more info on that down the line. I'm not going to talk too much about it, but that's kind of where we stand as a company. We want to purchase these properties now, and we have, you know, we can't say anything or announce anything yet, but we do have things that are looking pretty good. So we plan on growing out in Kansas, and we have a lot of growth potential here. You know, we can scale to a much larger size than we currently are. So that is great, and I know everyone asks, you know, can you lower the prices? Can you lower the prices? Yes, we will be able to lower the prices, but we can't overextend ourselves as a company. So if you guys hear, you know, I know Hawk Crypto talks to the clients. He's much more on the front end and everything with that. So if you hear him say, we can't do it yet, you know, I'm trying, it's me in the back that's saying, no, not yet. So you guys can blame me for that. But I want to make sure that our company is going to succeed and stay on the right track and have a, you know, a sustainable future, really, for our business model. There's a lot that you can't anticipate, right? You know, what if our electric rate jumps up, you know, 2 cents, you know what I mean? And then our margin is, you know, negative, you know what I mean? It's, what happens? So we have to leave room for that. And there has to be enough profit in there for the business to make sense. There's just a whole lot. I could go on for hours with you guys. But once we acquire these properties, a few months after that, we will be lowering prices. We will be very, very competitive with some of the largest hosting companies here in the United States. So that is very exciting. But I do want to point out, the cheaper you go, the cheaper the service, right? So we want to maintain a level of quality, and we won't be able to be the cheapest hosting facility in the United States while also giving you guys the highest customer service, the highest utility, right? There's a large company, I think it's BitCap actually. I don't know if I can name names directly, but I don't really care. BitCap, I don't even think they take GPU mining anymore, but when they did, I think it was like at 9 or 10 cents or something like that, which is cheaper than Terra, but they chose what you mined. It is weird, you know what I mean? So we won't ever be the cheapest. We will be cheap though, but we will always give our customers in the community here and everyone watching the best bang for your buck. Very, very excited, but I don't want to rant too much about that. I've been in Kansas for a week, so one of the big things I'm going to be moving on to in Florida when I get back is going to be Melbourne. I have taken over some operations for Melbourne. You know, different people in the company have different responsibilities. This past time I did have to come out to Kansas, knock this out with the Mining King. And of course, you know, I do the legal, finance, accounting, and stuff like that. And with property acquisitions, we have to talk with, you know, the individuals who own these properties and work out those deals. So I did come out this time, but we do have Ben, who is the facilities manager here in Kansas. So this will definitely not be the last time I'm out in Kansas, but back to Florida. So Melbourne is very exciting. I am really like just pumped for this. And I know AI is the craze right now, right? Like everyone's talking about AI, and you know, but I do feel like, you know, the demand for AI is going to turn into you know, almost like electricity for mining, right? Like the properties for mining are, they're determined, the price is determined a lot on what is the available power. How much power can you get, and can you scale past that if you want to? Will the electrical company do it? Like, that adds value for mining properties. But there's tons of value in compute power for AI, and that is kind of what we're going to be focusing on in Melbourne, right? As you guys have seen the videos and everything, we spent a year, actually I think it's been a year next week actually, since we signed our lease in Melbourne. It took us 8 months to get our 100 gig fiber line on a 400 gig tunnel, and we are actually going to be redoing all the electrical in there, and redoing a lot in there. We already put it's brand new 20-ton AC in there. We're gonna probably be adding another one of those or two of those, get some airflow moving. But we are, this coming week, going to get our plan down and begin ordering some products, or not products, but some parts, computer parts and server parts to begin Terra Hosting's AI compute. And that is a whole different side of the business. That is going to be a separate division, not affiliated with the crypto mining, but I will be overseeing a lot of the operations that are there. And that is just, it's super exciting for me. I love crypto mining. I love working in these facilities. I love GPU mining. I am not the biggest fan of ASIC mining, but I am becoming more of a fan on the Bitcoin side, these efficient S19Ks and stuff like that. But the AI side is just very, very interesting, right? And it requires very, demanding internet, high-speed internet. It requires, you want to have these things on different IPs. You want to have, just a solid networking setup, and we have that in Melbourne. So we are going to be building out baseline compute, and I know that a lot of people do. I do Vast AI. A lot of Hot Crypto does Vast AI. Ben does AI. Mining King does AI. So a lot of you guys watching probably have heard Vast AI and everything like that. We're probably going to be putting some on there. We're probably going to be going to different marketplaces and seeing what works, what doesn't work, what's the most profitable, what's not the most profitable, and kind of start getting into that. So I will definitely be doing vlogs on that stuff while we're working on it. So very exciting. But that, like I said, that's another division. In the past 2 months, Terra has been going 100 miles an hour on a, not 100 mile per hour road. So we've been going really, really quick. And, we just opened up our division for ASIC sales. That was always kind of part of the plan, to do turnkey ASIC sales for clients that can deal with us and not some of these sketchy middlemen and sketchy, I don't know, I don't want to say sketchy, but it's never comforting sending crypto over to someone in China, right? So there's no recourse for that. And so another division of Terra is going to be called Terra Hashes, and that will be our ASIC sales website. We're currently having the website built right now. We have a great team for that. Hot Crypto Mining is heading up sales. He is our chief marketing officer, and he is doing all the marketing for it, doing a great job with the website, just doing great with the sales, building that customer relation with all of our customers, and growing that side. And we see a lot of people with a lot of interest in this stuff, so we want to be able to offer that. So we'll have Terra Hosting for our ASIC hosting, GPU hosting. We'll have Terra Hosting as well for our AI hosting. That will be another separate division, but under the same umbrella. And then we have Terra Hashes. I don't know if that was the first one I said. And so we have a couple of these different things. We're also going to be doing a marketplace for used components and currently mined on components. So if you're, just say you're John Smith and you have a contract left with us for 5 months, and you want to sell your S19, K, J, Z, Y, whatever it is, you can put it on the marketplace and sell the remainder of your contract, and you can also sell that ASIC miner, and we could just turnkey swap it. And my vision with that, and my idea on that side is it would be great for customers, right? Because you don't have to pay for, one, if you cancel the contract with us. Two, you don't have to pay for shipping back to yourself. 3, you don't have to pay for shipping to whoever you're selling it to. And 4, you don't have to pay for an escrow service, whether it's Streams Escrow or eBay. You don't have to pay for those fees, and you don't have risk of chargebacks or anything like that. So it's working with other people in the community, other people that are interested, and the buyer, in lieu of all of that, gets a better price, a cheaper price, and the seller will probably will net a higher return on their sale for whatever the fair market value is of it. So we are working on something like that. That is a little more complicated than a sales website or the Terra Hosting website, because we need people to be able to go in and list things like, I don't want to say it's going to look like eBay or anything, but it's you know, it's just going to be a little bit different because people are going to have to be able to list products and everything like that. So that is in the pipeline. So that's very exciting. But I'm definitely ranting a whole lot here, guys. I am in the car, so I think that covers everything. I will keep you guys updated again with everything going on. There's just a lot of balls in different courts here, and but we are excited. We are very excited, and we have a lot of exciting things that are coming. So I will make more vlogs, try to be more frequent with everything, and I see the market's coming back. Everyone's getting excited about that, so that's very exciting to see. So let's see where all this goes, guys. As you guys know, I will be along for the ride. So thanks for listening to my TED Talk here in the car driving to Wichita. But that is going to be everything for this vlog, guys. I'm getting closer to Wichita now, so I'm going to focus on where I'm going. So I hope everyone watching this has a great rest of your day, and I'll see you guys soon.